when I first heard about the plant-based diet, I didn't want to do it. I was like, there's no way. I'm not stopping eating meat. You know, uh, I'll lose much weight. I won't be able to be full. I won't be able to sleep. How can anybody live without meat, right? And to me, it was just like, no way, right? But at the time, I learned when I was becoming a nutritionist that this was backed by all the studies, all the science, and everything I saw was that the plant-based diet was the way to resolve lots of chronic illnesses. So I figured, you know what? Why not try it? I'll give it a shot. 21 days, that's it. So I ate nothing but plants for 21 days, okay? I will say I had a little colostrum, but otherwise nothing but plants. Over the course of that time, I started to notice that much less swelling in the knees, you know, less swelling under the eyes, you know, my joints. I felt lighter. I started to have less bloating. I started to kind of, my six-pack started to show up. You know, I needed less sleep. I felt just, generally, I felt lighter, you know, and I felt less of the heaviness after eating, less of the fatigue, definitely after eating. The food cravings got much better. There was a lot of things that improved in 21 days, and I was like, wow, I can't believe this, because I thought that it was always everything besides the meat that was the problem. And the reality was, it was the meat, you know, that was making everything else the problem. You know, when I was only eating maybe 10, 15 different foods before with the meat, now I was eating 20, 25 different foods at least. Most of them were plant-based, they were healthy. And, you know, it changed my life, absolutely. I was definitely on the meat bandwagon forever. You know, this was never something I considered until 16, 17 years into the illness, and then saw the effects of meat on myself there. Then I cut it out of my daughter's diet, saw it help her, saw her behavior change, saw her morph into a different child. And, you know, I thought to myself, there has to be something here, you know, and the reality was, every time I tried to add meat back in at some point in the future, I never really could get that interested in it again. And I just kind of lost interest at one point and realized that now there were other things that made me happier that I preferred. So it was really a freeing experience. And also, you know, there's nothing, you know, there's nothing wrong with meat, okay? There's a need for animal products, I believe, here and there. You know, I'm more into eggs, I'm more into cheese, I'm more into colostrum than I am into meat, absolutely. But the reality is, like, the meat thing was really based a lot on what we were taught when we were younger. We don't need that much meat. We're not bodybuilding. We're not ripping apart our muscles and trying to grow our muscles. We're just trying to get healthy. We're just trying to get rid of the inflammation. We're trying to have happy lives. We're trying to be happy. That's the whole point of it, right? So at the end of the day, you know, if meat makes you happy, keep doing it, right? But it doesn't mean it's not going to make you sick and cause you symptoms. So that's my experience with go ahead and basically taking out meat. What happened when I first started doing the plant-based diet, and, you know, I was really 100% on board with the meat, but it changed my perspective. I would encourage you to try an elimination diet. That's just potatoes, rice, beans, fruits, vegetables. Do that over the course of 21 to 30 days and see what happens. It could be that it's, you know, not fun because you don't like it, but it could be there's a lot of relief behind that, you know. If you really give yourself anywhere between 21 to 30, 45 days in that range, you could see massive differences. So thanks for watching, everybody. Just want to share my experiences with plant-based eating versus the meat-dominant diet. Take care.